Welcome back to Sleepy Palm Island. The ritual is simple: a soft blanket, a warm cup of tea, and a story carried by the sound of the waves. Tonight, the ocean whispers beneath the moon. A lone cabin glows with warm light. Soft air drifts through the palms, inviting you to sink into calm and dream. So lie back, feel the night around you, and let the waves carry you into the story. Waves move in steady rhythm, their breath rolling against the shore, a sound that folds into the silence of night. Moonlight lies across the ocean, silver lines stretching, breaking, forming again, never still, always flowing. From the cabin window, warm glow touches the edges of the glass, spilling into the darkness outside. It rests gently on the wooden beams, on the slope of the roof, on the low curve of the veranda rail. Palms rise at the edge of the jungle, their crowns swaying with the breeze. Leaves brush together in soft whispers, and the air carries salt, carries the faint sweetness of earth still warm from the day. Inside, a candle waits to be lit. The match is struck, a small flare of orange, then the wick takes it, holding the flame steady. Its crackle is faint, barely louder than a breath, yet the whole room changes. Walls glowing with soft gold, corners filled with calm light. Fingers trace the cool surface of the glass, sliding slowly over lines where warmth from the flame meets the night's cooler touch. Patterns of light and shadow merge, a living tapestry across the window pane. You may notice how the chair feels, weighting, soft and wide, its fabric carrying the faint scent of wood smoke. A blanket rests there, ready to be drawn close, its folds heavy and warm, like a quiet promise of safety. The teapot sits on the table, clay carved with symbols, worn smooth by time. Each line holds meaning, though words are not needed. Hands wrap around it, lifting, tilting, steam rising in a gentle swirl. The aroma of herbs unfolds, green, calming, with a sweetness that lingers. As the cup is lifted, warmth spreads into the palms, flowing slowly up the arms, settling in the chest. One sip, slow, unhurried, a taste that feels both new and remembered. Outside, the ocean continues, its song never ceasing, sometimes louder, as if the tide leans closer to listen, sometimes softer, a hum beneath everything. Each wave arrives, each wave leaves, like breath drawn in, breath let out. Clouds drift over the mountains, thick at times, then parting, revealing the curve of the moon. Its light spills into valleys, over slopes, touching leaves still damp from the night air. Mist curls along the ridges, fingers of white sliding through the dark. From the veranda, the night air meets the skin, cool, soft, carrying the taste of salt. It rests on the face, moves through the hair, wraps the body in quiet freshness. Standing there, eyes follow the silver path across the sea, a bridge of light that feels endless. Far away, lanterns float, fishing boats rocking gently. Their glow wavers, sometimes bright, sometimes hidden by the swell. They seem to breathe with the ocean, part of its rhythm, part of its slow pulse. Returning inside, the house holds its silence. Candlelight sways, casting shadows that bend, that return, slow and unhurried. Each flicker carries calm, each glow deepens rest. You may feel the body settle, shoulders softening, hands loose, breath flowing easier. The chair holds all weight without effort. The blanket folds over, covering, protecting, bringing warmth deeper. Time loses its edges here. Moments blur, sounds repeat, yet never the same. The surf rolls in, rolls back. The flame rises, bows down. Clouds drift, open, close again. In this rhythm there is only stillness, only presence. The cabin rests on its slope, the ocean breathes beneath, the mountains keep their silent watch, and inside one sits, quiet, safe, listening. Everything outside flows endlessly, everything inside glows steadily, and both meet here, in the calm of this night. Breath finds its own path without need to guide it. The body knows rest, each muscle loosening, each thought dissolving. Eyes follow the shimmer of the candle, or perhaps the silver of the moon, or perhaps nothing at all, just the weight of lids growing softer, heavier. Every sound, every scent, every flicker of light gathers into one feeling, the house itself cradling, the night itself watching, the sea itself breathing. And you are part of it, without effort, without thought. Here in this cabin by the ocean, wrapped in warmth, bathed in moonlight, you simply rest. The breath deepens, drawn in slowly, released even more slowly, matching the rhythm that lives outside. Waves arrive one by one, curling in the dark, folding against the shore with a hush that never ends. Each arrival is gentle, each retreat leaves the sand glistening. A low hum fills the air, not loud, not sharp, just steady. The surf beneath the night, the endless pulse of water meeting land. In the chair, the body feels heavier, settling into the cushions as if the wood itself were absorbing weight, holding it effortlessly. The flame sways, leaning, bowing, but never going out. Its glow paints the edges of the table, the folds of the blanket, the curve of the cup. Shadows lean long across the floor, shadows that breathe with each soft movement of air. One hand still warms around clay, the rough texture grounding, the heat steady. The tea has cooled slightly, yet when lips meet it, flavor lingers. Soft leaves, faint smoke, a trace of sweetness. Shoulders loosen further, neck eases, a slow release that seems to happen on its own. There is no need to search for comfort. because comfort is already here, woven into chair and air alike. Eyes drift toward the window, where silver shimmers over water. Moonlight bends, splinters, mends itself again, sometimes sharp, sometimes hazy through passing veils of cloud. Every change is quiet, each shift an invitation to follow without effort. Palms outside tilt slightly, fronds brushing together with a softness that barely reaches the ear. The sound is thin, delicate, but enough to remind that night has its own breath, its own way of moving. Fingers rest now on the arm of the chair, skin touching fabric, a faint sensation yet steady, reminding the body of its place here, anchored, safe. Thoughts thin, stretching, slowing. They drift much like the mist curling along the distant slopes, appearing, dissolving, appearing again, never pressing, never urgent, simply shapes moving across an inner sky. The chest rises, falls. The ocean rises, falls. Two rhythms, not separate, just aligned, woven into one. Eyes grow heavier, the lids lowering slightly, just enough to soften edges. Light blurs, flickers of flame turning into shapes without detail. Moonlight becomes only brightness, spread thin across the sea. Inside the body, warmth deepens, spreading from the hands, through the arms, into the center. It moves without force, without intention, like water seeping through earth. The warmth is enough. It tells every part, rest is here. A faint creak of wood, the sound of the house adjusting, settling deeper into its beams. It adds to the stillness as though the structure itself were breathing slowly, joining the quiet. Somewhere beyond, a lantern sways on the water. Its glow appears, vanishes, appears again. It is far, yet it feels close, part of the same calm that fills the cabin. Every detail holds silence. Every silence holds weight. Together, they draw the body down, further into ease. One may notice how the jaw softens, how the tongue rests loosely, how even the breath in the throat flows without effort. The body knows this state, knows how to enter it, knows how to stay. Thoughts no longer matter. They arrive gently, like boats on the horizon, but none stay long. They pass, they fade, they leave space behind them, and the space is wider, more open, more still. Inside this stillness, a voice remains, quiet, kind, not asking, only observing. You may notice how the shoulders rest, how the arms feel heavy, how the breath takes care of itself. The words are soft, but they reach deep. They fold into the mind like fabric folding over the skin. The candle tilts its flame again, casting gold on the edges of the wall. Each flicker matches a heartbeat, a tiny echo, that blends into the greater rhythm outside. Eyes nearly close, lids hold their weight, and behind them soft colors shift: amber, silver, deep blue. Not visions, only remnants of light, drifting patterns that comfort without meaning. Feet sink further into the floor, the sense of gravity stronger but without heaviness. It is an anchoring, a safety, a reminder that no part needs to move, and still the surf hums, still the mountains breathe mist, still the lanterns drift, still the candle sways, all unchanged, all continuing, all carrying on, without need for thought. The body, too, carries on. Breath rises, breath falls, the chest expands, releases, eyes close further, hands loosen, the blanket presses softly. Every detail leans toward rest, every sound leans toward silence, every moment leans toward sleep. And here within this cabin, within this night, all that remains is ease. Ease deepens, settling into muscles, settling into bones, as if the entire body were sinking into a vast, gentle sea. The chair holds every shape, the blanket curves like a second skin, and warmth stays steady, quiet, immovable. Outside, the moon slides higher, its light bending through slow bands of mist, sometimes bright, sometimes softened, but always present, a constant companion in the flowing night. Clouds form and dissolve, edges shifting, drifting like thoughts, too light to remain. One moment they veil the mountains, the next they open and show silver ridges rising above the jungle's shadow. A faint shimmer moves across the surface of the cup, herbal steam thinning, threads of fragrance weaving into the air. It carries a note of green, a hint of earth, and a sweetness that rests at the edge of memory. The breath follows it, drawn in, let out slowly, matching the tide outside. Fingers slip from the cup's handle, resting instead on fabric, palms heavy, open. The sensation is barely there, yet it grounds, reminding the skin of softness, reminding the body that it can stay, that it is safe. From far across the water, a boat lantern glows again. It sways in rhythm with unseen waves, a pulse of amber against the endless silver. It does not demand attention, but it holds it gently, like a thought that lingers only long enough to ease the mind. Candlelight bends, flickers, then steadies. Shadows bow along the wooden wall, stretch long, return short. Each motion repeats without repetition, each glow a soft surprise, enough to keep the eyes heavy but not closed entirely. Breath drifts lower into the body, into the stomach, into the hips, filling the lower frame with calm. One notices how shoulders hang loose, how the neck rests, how the jaw unclenches. The body unwinds without needing direction, without needing control. It simply remembers rest. Sound folds around the cabin. Ocean hums below. palms stir lightly. Boards creak in their patient language. Each noise arrives, takes its place, then melts back into stillness. Together they form a lullaby with no beginning and no end. Thoughts that once carried edges now blur at the sides. They arrive as shapes, soft, without weight. None stay, none press. Each one dissolves the moment attention touches it. The body listens more to rhythm than to thought. It listens to surf, to flame, to breath. It listens to silence between each sound. The silence holds more weight than words, more ease than meaning. Eyes close further, lashes nearly meeting, yet faint glow seeps through. Behind the lids, light bends into colors that do not need names. Gold swirls into silver, blue into black. They mix, spread wide, then vanish. The blanket feels heavier now, not in weight, but in presence. It rests along the body, drawing warmth deeper, pulling calm closer. Every inch of fabric anchors the skin, tells it quietly, stay, rest, be still. One may notice how the legs grow quiet, how feet soften against the floor, how arms rest heavy without choice. Even the smallest muscles release their hold, like knots undone in silence. The flame moves again, its motion almost imperceptible, yet every shift feels infinite, every glow seems endless. It paints the air, paints the skin, paints the room in shades of calm. A pause stretches, longer, deeper. Nothing interrupts it. No thought rises to break it. It simply exists, like still water, like open night. The mind follows this pause, slipping into it, forgetting the edges of time. Moments dissolve, one blending into the next, until no count is possible, until no measure matters. A whisper of air moves near the window. It touches glass, shifts flame, slides softly across the room. The movement is so light it feels imagined. Yet it carries freshness, carries the scent of salt, carries the hush of the outside world into the heart of the cabin. Breath answers it. Inhale slow, exhale slower. Each cycle deepens, each release softens. No effort is needed, it is simply happening. Happening in rhythm with tide, in rhythm with cloud, in rhythm with silence. Every sound repeats, but never the same. Every flicker returns, but never twice. Each is new, yet each feels familiar. Together they form a circle, endless, complete. The body accepts this circle. The mind drifts with it. They merge into the night's pattern, resting as one small part of its whole. Eyes grow heavier still, and with them thoughts fade further, softer, until they are nothing but echoes of echoes. And in the calm, in the silver glow, in the warmth of the candle and chair, sleep waits, not rushing, not forcing, just waiting, gentle, inevitable, already here. Sleep drifts closer, like a tide rising without notice, filling the edges, seeping through unseen spaces. Breath steadies, soft, slow, each inhale dissolving thought, each exhale emptying weight. It flows through the chest, through the stomach, through the limbs, until nothing feels separate, only one body resting in stillness. The room holds silence, a silence alive with tiny movements. The flame sways in its glass. The wood murmurs in deep tones. Far off, the ocean presses its rhythm, low, endless, like the heart of the world beating against the shore. Lids close further, light thins behind them, silver fading into darker hues. Colors shift without form, patches of glow turning to shapes, shapes turning to nothing. It is easier to remain with eyes closed, easier to surrender sight, easier to let vision fall into the wide sea of rest. One may notice how time dissolves here. Moments pass like shadows. There is no need to keep them, no need to count them. Each one fades as soon as it arrives, falling into the stillness that holds everything. Hands lie open now, palms upward, fingers barely curved. Their weight is complete, final, absolute. They are no longer held by will, but by gravity alone, and even gravity feels soft, gentle, kind. The warmth that spread earlier remains, but deeper now. It seeps past skin and bone, filling marrow, filling cells, like a quiet fire that does not burn, but nourishes. Every part drinks it in, every part answers by resting more. Thoughts drift further away. They are not gone, but they have no voice. They appear as faint clouds in a sky too wide to hold them. They move, but they do not matter. They vanish as easily as they come. The chest lifts once more, falls once more. Breath is long now, spaced wide, a rhythm stretched across silence. It requires nothing. It finds its own depth, its own pace. The body listens. The mind listens. And in this listening, nothing remains to disturb. Weight deepens in the legs, in the feet, in the arms, until the entire form feels like part of the bed itself. There is no difference between fabric and skin, between blanket and limb. All blends into one field of softness, without edges, without lines. Somewhere beyond, clouds shift again. Moonlight bends in new angles. It touches water, spreads across the surface, then scatters into pieces. The glow changes, but always returns. Its cycle is quiet, reassuring, endless. The lanterns at sea flicker faintly. They are far, barely seen, yet their presence comforts, as if someone else is awake, keeping watch in silence, allowing you to let go without fear. Inside, the flame leans lower. It dances without sound, drawing thin shapes against wooden walls. Each shape stretches, collapses, returns. The room seems to breathe with it, growing, shrinking without effort. The body follows. Breath matches, heart matches, mind matches. Everything slows into the same rhythm. Everything becomes one. The inner voice speaks softly, barely louder than thought. You may notice how heavy the eyelids have grown. You may feel how still the body has become. And as you notice, you allow it even more. The body knows this place. It remembers how to rest. Those words dissolve as quickly as they form, leaving only sensation behind. Weight, warmth, breath, silence. Another exhale stretches longer, releasing more than air. It releases tension, releases memory, releases effort. What remains is pure ease, a body undone, a mind open, a spirit safe. The pulse of the ocean continues. It does not wait, it does not hurry, it simply flows. And in its flowing, everything else yields. The candle steadies again, its glow unwavering. It seems brighter, though eyes are closed. It seems nearer, though no distance has changed. Its presence lingers as if a small sun were set inside the room, a sun meant only for comfort, meant only for rest. The deeper silence holds you. It presses gently, like hands across the shoulders, like air across the skin, firm enough to anchor, soft enough to soothe. Breath falls into it, body falls into it, mind falls into it. The falling is without end, without bottom. It is not falling away, but falling into stillness, into warmth, into sleep. And here, in this descent, there is no need to do anything. There is no need to guide. The night guides itself. The body follows. The mind drifts. Everything else disappears. Sleep rises, soft as a tide, sure as the moon. It moves closer with every breath, with every beat, with every silence, until at last there is nothing to hold on to, nothing to resist, only the endless sea, the endless dark, the endless glow inside. And in that glow, you rest, you let go, you sleep.